Wow, you were young. Man.
Yeah.
And I'm young too, and he was 07, so go Cubs. I graduated there 2000, went to Yale University, graduated there, and then
This is,
did a master's
planning
of
for
policy from Oxford. And I was there at the same time as Senate Mayor Pete. And he's running for president, I'm running for county supervisor, so whenever someone says, hey, this is a big jump, I literally say, the guy that I went to grad school with is running for president, he's doing all right. He's gonna win, but he's doing okay. Then I went to law school, I went to Stanford Law School, and I practiced for a number of years. County supervisor is, even though it's extremely powerful, it actually affects our life on a daily basis, I would argue more than probably any elected official, maybe your city council. For those of you, how many people live in Alhambra? How many people, okay, where do the other folks live?
South Pass.
South Pass, okay.
I live in Alhambra.
Alhambra. So your Alhambra's South Pass City Council actually probably has the most effect on you, the more local, the more effect because of, zoning and planning, and your neighbors are doing something, and usually the council is handling that. But the county supervisors, the 5 of them, control a $36 billion budget. And that's everything from transportation. Do you guys know Lillian, by the way? So,
Just introduce me.
okay, good. So, transportation, public safety, obviously housing, public health, everything from animal services to how we're delivering water. And a big thing that they do as well is foster care, so our foster care system. Within that $36 billion budget, the biggest line item is public health, so our hospitals, our community clinics. The next biggest is going to be public safety, our sheriffs, our public defenders, our DAs. And then after that, foster care. Foster care, we spend nearly $3 billion a year on foster care, and there's at any given time 30,000 children in LA County in foster care. And I'm running because really I look at all of those areas that I just touched upon, and I see a county that isn't working very well. I think I speak for a lot of people who think that we can do a lot better in the services that the county is providing. We have 60,000 people living on the streets, homeless, 3 of whom are dying a day. We have a criminal justice system. If anyone has actually been in it in any way, whether you worked in it, whether you had to go through it with a family member or yourself, our criminal justice system is now our mental health system. Our jails are our mental health institutions because we've underinvested so heavily in mental health that we are now placing people who are suffering from mental illness and they're suffering from drug addiction into jails rather than mental health beds. We have a foster care system, like I said before, 30,000 children, mostly children of color, 80% children of color. 50% of them will be homeless by the time they're 18. So every homeless person that we get off the street, there are 2 to 3 times that amount that are coming onto the streets from our jail system and from foster care. So we are failing our kids almost at every level. And then you have a transportation system that a lot of us have worked in that I think isn't doing enough to get cars off the road. And because it's not doing enough to get cars off the road, because we don't have a true multimodal operational system where I can go from the very end of one part of the county to the very other end, we spend a lot of time in our cars, me included. And I think that I've done it my whole life since I've lived here. And I think that it's not only a drain economically, it's a drain personally, it's killing our environment. We have a county that is now trying to set a carbon neutral goal of 2050. And that's the same goal that Donald Trump has in the White House. So we are not nearly bold enough in our county sustainability plan. We should be that are actually going to put climate change at the forefront of local policy, not just national policy. And so we need to get really serious about renewable energy here in the county and actually making it here and producing it and consuming it. LA County, sure.
I just have a question when you get through.
Yeah, no, let's do it.
About the, I guess supervisor, what is like the hierarchy? I guess like
sure.
For me, like supervisors, like, okay, I'm new here, I came from the Philadelphia area.
Yeah, it's a great question. Yeah, so there's city, I'll just like give you a basic rundown in 30 seconds. There's city councils, there's usually 5, maybe 7. Above that is the county, right? Above that is the state, and then you have federal government. So at the county level, you have the 5 supervisors. Each has their own districts, there's 5 of them. Each district is 2 million people. There's a little over 10 million people in the county. My district, your district, the 5th district, is as far west as Burbank, as far east as Laverne, and then we get all of the northern part of the county, right? All the way up to Kern County. It's massive. It's 2,800 square feet, or square miles. 2,800 square feet wouldn't be that big. Probably, twice the size of this room. So it's a little bit bigger than this room. It is managed by those five. That five have all power from a legislative perspective, quasi-judicial. So whenever something is appealed, they get to make the decision. They have a staff underneath them that is run by a CEO. The CEO serves at the pleasure of the Board of Supervisors. And then the Board of Supervisors has underneath the CEO directors of each of those departments. So health, the sheriff is the sheriff, the DA, DCFS, which is the Department of Children and Family Services or Fostercare, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a staff of 200,000 people. 200,000 people work in LA County. And so, which is a good thing. I mean, my wife works in the county. There's a lot of people here maybe that, work in the county. It's a great source of jobs, and it's a great source of security for especially middle-class families. But it's a big bureaucracy. So that's kind of the state of it. But where I was is I think we have a board now who is well-intentioned and that is trying to do a lot on all these different levels, and they can't get their arms around it. I don't think we have a ton of competency and innovation, for example, on the environment. I don't think we have a ton of innovation when it comes to actually fixing criminal justice. I don't think that we have fixed or changed our foster care system in decades. And because of that, it is actually operating as if it was in the 20th century and not the 21st century. And I'll get into that more, but I think that there's a lot of things that we can be doing to help those kids who I think are the most vulnerable. So why do I think I'll do a better job than the incumbent? Well, we have an incumbent that essentially built the system. Kathryn Barger worked for 35 years in the county. She was a longtime staffer to the previous supervisor, Mike Antonovich. She's the last Republican on the board. It's a nonpartisan, non-party-based seat, but I point that out because I think that her votes have reflected her values as a Republican. She's the only supervisor that's voted against Sanctuary County. In other words, Kathryn Barger is the only one that voted against Sanctuary County, the only one to vote against protecting undocumented immigrants. She's the only one that voted to build a new jail to the tune of $2 to $3 billion in downtown LA. The other four wanted to build a mental health institution. She's the only one that voted against rent stabilization and tenant protections for renters. If you want to solve homelessness, if you actually want to help people with economic insecurity, you help them stay in their home. You don't make it easier for their landlords to evict them. She's also the only one who wanted to, frankly, not give, and this goes back to the Sanctuary County. She's the only one that didn't want to give subsidies for undocumented immigrants who were trying to be deported. The county actually spends a couple $1 million a year for pro bono legal services. She's also someone that takes a lot of money from special interests, fossil fuel companies, landfill owners, developers. And what you see is, again, someone who I don't think is very serious on climate change and bringing clean energy, but someone who has also delivered for those interests. I don't know if anyone knows what Tejon Ranch is. Tejon Ranch is going to be the biggest new development in modern day history in LA County. It's going to be 50,000 new people built in high fire zones north of Castaic, north of Lancaster. It is literally being built in natural habitat that will be destroyed, and fires rage through there and will rage through there as soon as we build this luxury, it's essentially a luxury home development of 50,000 people. The developers of that project donated massive amounts of money to her individually and through the company. And this project is a disaster. It's a disaster economically, it's a disaster environmentally, and it's going to cost all of us a lot of money, but it's also going to cost anyone who lives there their lives probably, and it's also going to make the environment worse because there's no transportation out there. You have cars going, nearly 2 hours each way to get to and from there because there's no jobs out there either. There's no public safety. There's no water. So she did that, and then she also the Chiquita landfill. I don't know if anyone knows what the Chiquita landfill is. Chiquita landfill is one of the biggest landfills in LA County. It's right by Castaic. The owners of that landfill donated a lot of money to Kathryn Barger when she was running, and that landfill was supposed to close in 2017. In 1991, the county made a deal with the community of Castaic and really with all of us in the county to close the Chiquita landfill because it's an environmental hazard. It is leading to bad environmental effects on the people that live next to it. No one wants to live next to a landfill, let's be totally clear. Instead of closing it, she instead actually extended it increased the size of it, and extended it for another 30 years. And again, someone donates, someone gets what they want, you see the pattern. I think that our democracy, frankly, is broken on every level. We have a madman in the White House who can't be trusted. We have a Congress that can't get anything done. And because of that, things are flowing down to our county level or our city level where we need to get things done. And we have elected officials like Mrs. Barger, who I think are doing things the wrong way. I think we need clean government. I think we need people that are representing everyday people. He hates her. I mean, look, I mean, this is, you know, I mean, my son is, what's that?
Don't name her.
Yeah, I know, it's just got him so upset. But let me, I know you had a question and then we can get into it, so. Either of those times I went with her, basically, I think the excuse was when a supervisor has a project or an issue in their district, we tend to defer to that supervisor, which I think is terrible. I think that's bad policy. I think we as supervisors should be concerned about all 10 million people in this county, not just the 2 million that live in my district. So what you get is a lot of horse trading. You know, hey, you vote for this and I'll help you on that. I think that is just not the right way of looking at it. If I think that there's something objectionable, I'm gonna vote against it, whether it's in my district or not.